What if the secret to respect isn't your vocabulary, but your delivery? Most learners fail to set boundaries because they use soft language that native speakers ignore. I'm showing you the exact linguistic psychological triggers that signal authority and self-preservation, ensuring your no is heard loud, clear, and final every single time. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the podcast. Today's topic is something that almost everyone struggles with at some point in life. Not grammar, not pronunciation, not vocabulary, but boundaries.
Boundaries? That's not exactly the first thing people think about when learning English.
True, but here's the thing. Many English learners can talk about politics, they can discuss movies, they can explain complicated ideas, yet they freeze when they need to say no.
That's surprisingly true. Sometimes saying no feels harder than giving a 20-minute presentation.
Exactly. And because of that, many people end up saying yes when they actually want to say no. They agree to things they don't want. They answer questions they don't want to answer. They accept responsibilities they don't have time for. And over time, that becomes exhausting.
You know what's interesting? Most people think boundaries are about other people, but boundaries actually protect us.
Absolutely. Boundaries are not walls. They're not punishments. They're not acts of selfishness. Healthy boundaries are simply clear communication about what is okay and what is not okay for you. And today, we're going to learn how native speakers communicate those boundaries confidently and respectfully.
I think one reason learners struggle is because they don't want to sound rude.
Exactly. Many learners fall into something I call the polite trap. They believe that being polite means always being agreeable, so they become uncomfortable saying no. Instead, they say things like, maybe, we'll see, I'll think about it, even when they've already decided no.
So the answer is secretly no, but nobody knows it.
Exactly. And here's the problem. Vague communication often creates more problems than clear communication because now the other person is confused. They're waiting, they're hoping, they're expecting, and eventually the situation becomes awkward.
So being indirect isn't always kinder.
Exactly. Sometimes clear communication is the kindest thing you can do.
Why do people become people pleasers in the first place?
Because people-pleasing feels safe. When everyone is happy with us, we feel accepted. We feel valued. We feel included. But there's a hidden cost. Every unnecessary yes takes energy. And eventually, those small yeses become stress.
It's like carrying one small backpack. At first it feels light. Then someone adds another backpack. Then another. Then another. And eventually you're carrying far more than you can handle.
That's a great way to describe it. And many people don't realize they're overwhelmed until they're already burned out. Think about how often people say yes to things they don't actually want. Extra work, extra meetings, extra favors, extra responsibilities. At first, it seems harmless, but eventually people become exhausted. And something interesting happens. The frustration they feel toward themselves gets redirected toward other people.
So resentment begins to grow.
Exactly. And often the other person has no idea because they never forced you. You volunteered. That's why boundaries are so important.
What's the difference between passive communication and assertive communication?
Great question. Passive communication sounds like this. Whatever you want. It's fine. I don't mind. Even when it isn't fine. Assertive communication sounds like this. I'm not available. That doesn't work for me. I'd rather not discuss that. Notice the difference?
One hides your needs, the other communicates your needs.
Exactly. Assertive communication is honest communication. One of the easiest tools for setting boundaries is using I statements. Instead of focusing on what the other person is doing wrong, focus on your own limits. For example, instead of saying, You're asking too much. Say, I'm not able to commit to that. Instead of, you're too personal. Say, I'm not comfortable discussing that.
That sounds much calmer.
Because it avoids blame, and people are less defensive when they don't feel attacked.
Let's talk about actual phrases people can use.
Absolutely. Professional examples. I don't have the capacity right now. I'm focusing on other priorities. I won't be able to take that on. My schedule is full this week. Social examples. I'm going to pass this time. I appreciate the invitation, but I can't make it. I'm taking some time for myself this weekend. That doesn't work for me.
I notice these phrases are simple.
Exactly. Strong boundaries usually use fewer words, not more.
I think many people explain too much.
Most people do. Imagine this. Sorry, I can't come because I have laundry and I have work tomorrow and my cousin is visiting and I have to buy groceries. The explanation never ends.
And now everyone knows your entire life story.
Exactly. But over-explaining often weakens boundaries because every explanation becomes something people can negotiate. If you say, I'm tired, someone says, you'll feel better once you're there. If you say, I'm busy, someone says, it won't take long. Suddenly your no becomes a debate. Here's one of my favorite communication tools. It's called acknowledge and pivot. Step 1, acknowledge. Thank you for inviting me. I appreciate you thinking of me. Step 2, pivot. But I won't be able to make it. But I can't commit right now. But I'm unavailable.
That sounds respectful and firm at the same time.
Exactly. You recognize the other person's effort without sacrificing your boundary.
What about personal questions? Sometimes people ask things that feel uncomfortable.
This is very common. Questions about money, relationships, family issues, health, personal decisions. Many learners feel trapped because they think they must answer, but you don't. You can say, I'd rather keep that private. I don't usually discuss that. That's personal, but thanks for asking. I'd rather talk about something else.
Those sound polite, but very clear.
Because boundaries don't require hostility. They require clarity.
I think the hardest part is disappointing people.
I agree. Many people secretly believe if I disappoint someone, they'll stop liking me. But healthy relationships can survive disappointment. Real friendships survive disappointment. Strong professional relationships survive disappointment. Healthy people understand that everyone has limits, and sometimes the most honest answer is simply no.
Emma, can two people say exactly the same words but create completely different impressions?
Absolutely. And this is something many English learners don't realize. Native speakers don't only listen to your words, they also listen to your delivery. For example, I'm not available can sound calm and confident or nervous and uncertain, depending on your tone.
So confidence isn't just vocabulary. It's how you say the vocabulary.
Exactly. Sometimes learners spend years improving grammar when what they actually need is confidence in delivery. One common characteristic of confident speech is downward inflection. That means your voice naturally lowers at the end of a statement. For example, I'm not available. The voice drops. The message feels complete, final, clear. But nervous speakers often do this. I'm not available? Their voice rises, and suddenly it sounds like a question.
It's like asking permission for your own boundary.
Exactly. And people unconsciously hear uncertainty.
What's another mistake people make?
Talking too much after setting a boundary. Many learners get uncomfortable with silence, so they keep filling the space. For example, I can't do that. then immediately, but maybe next week, and maybe if things change, and maybe...
The boundary disappears?
Exactly. A powerful boundary often sounds like this. I won't be able to do that. Pause. That's it. No panic, no rescue mission, no apology tour.
Why is silence so uncomfortable?
Because many people think silence means conflict, but often silence simply means the other person is processing what you said. The silence doesn't need fixing. The silence isn't dangerous. It's just space. And mature communicators learn to sit comfortably in that space.
So confidence often looks quieter than people expect?
Exactly. Let's talk about body language. Imagine someone saying no while smiling nervously, avoiding eye contact and fidgeting. Now imagine someone saying no with calm eye contact and relaxed posture. Same word, different message. The second person sounds much more certain. Exactly. Your body should support your message, not contradict it.
What happens when people try to make you feel guilty?
Great question. Some people respond to boundaries with guilt. You might hear, "Come on, just this once. I thought you cared. You're being difficult." The mistake many people make is defending themselves. Instead, calmly repeat your position. For example, "I understand how you feel, but I'm not available." "I hear you, but my decision hasn't changed." "I understand, but that doesn't work for me."
You're not arguing. You're simply standing firm.
Exactly. Boundaries are not debates.
Some people seem to treat no like the beginning of a conversation.
That's true. They hear no and think, challenge accepted. But here's the secret. You don't need new explanations. You need consistency. Person, are you sure? You, yes. Person, what if we do it another way? You, no thank you. Person, just think about it. You, I've already decided.
Simple. Short. Clear.
Exactly. Consistency is more powerful than creativity.
What about when someone says something hurtful and then claims it was a joke?
That happens often. Someone crosses a boundary, you react, then they say, "Relax, it was just a joke." A calm response might be, "I understand it was intended as a joke, but it made me uncomfortable." Or, "I'd rather not joke about that." Notice something. You're not attacking them. You're simply communicating your experience.
Let's talk about modern life. Many people feel available 24 hours a day.
Absolutely. Technology has created new boundary challenges. People expect immediate replies, immediate availability, immediate attention. But healthy boundaries exist online too. For example, "I don't check messages after work." "I'll respond tomorrow." "I'm taking some time offline." "I'm unavailable this evening."
Those sound simple, but many people feel guilty saying them.
Exactly. Because we've been conditioned to believe availability equals kindness, but constant availability often leads to burnout. A growing idea today is emotional minimalism. The concept is simple. Protect your attention, protect your energy, protect your peace. Just because someone wants access to your time doesn't mean they're entitled to it.
That sounds powerful.
Because attention is one of the most valuable resources we have, and boundaries help us use it wisely.
Do boundaries change how people see us?
Absolutely. Every interaction teaches people something. If you're always available, people expect availability. If you're always saying yes, people expect yes. But when you're consistent with your limits, people begin to understand them. Over time, they adjust. And something interesting happens. People often respect you more.
I feel like this conversation is bigger than language.
It is. Because boundaries aren't just communication tools, they're identity tools. Every healthy boundary sends a message to yourself. It says, my time matters. My energy matters. My feelings matter. My peace matters. And over time, that changes how you see yourself. Let's give our listeners a challenge. For the next 7 days, pause before saying yes. Every time someone asks for your time, attention, or energy, take a moment. Ask yourself, do I genuinely want to do this? Do I have the capacity? Am I saying yes because I want to or because I feel guilty?
Some people are about to discover they've been running on guilt for years.
Possibly, but awareness is the first step toward change.
You know, before this conversation, I thought boundaries were about saying no. Now I think they're about saying yes to the right things.
That's beautifully said. Every boundary protects something important. Your goals, your health, your energy, your relationships, your future. And when you communicate those boundaries clearly, people know where they stand. That creates trust, not conflict. Trust. So remember, being kind does not require being available all the time. Being respectful does not require sacrificing your needs. And saying no does not make you selfish. Healthy boundaries are not walls. They're guidelines that help people understand how to have a healthy relationship with you. And the stronger your boundaries become, the more confidence, clarity, and peace you'll experience.
If you enjoyed today's conversation, subscribe to our channel for more English podcasts, real-life communication skills, psychology-based learning, and natural English conversations.
New episodes every week to help you speak English naturally, confidently, and fluently. Keep learning, keep growing, and remember, you don't need permission to protect your peace.
Subscribe to our channel for more videos like this so you can learn about English as well as your own life in an easy way. We'll see you very soon in the next episode.
Bye, everyone.